Hello, Patriots. How are we doing? Oh, it's been some week. That's why I'm only managing to get one episode a week at the moment, just with all the work I'm doing. We're working quite late as well. But yeah, it's really important that I keep getting these episodes up at least one a week, And we're gonna fire straight in today because there's so much going on in Scotland at the moment. Like with it started off with the John Davidson um incident at the BAFTAs and low IQ blacks not understanding how Tourette's actually works. And then the next day, or within a couple of days of that, we had the disabled kid, the boy with autism in Glasgow, that's been getting bullied for months by foreigners. Um, and then there's this video that I will show you in a bit, but I'm not going to start off with that today. And the video is, yeah, it's really hard to watch. It's gut wrenching, and yeah, if it does not light a fire in you, then I don't really know what will. And if it doesn't light a fire in you, you're probably not one of us. But what we're going to start off with is where I believe what shows that things have not really changed at all for our people. It's just got worse. Our people have been made more vulnerable. And yeah, so in 2004, I've spoken about him before and I'll continue to speak about him. In 2004, Kriss Donald was 15 at the time. He was abducted by 5 Pakistanis. He was tortured. They drove him over Scotland. They tortured him. They stabbed him. They set him on fire. And then they murdered him after torturing him and putting him through all of that. And yet, nothing has changed since 2004. But this is Homeland's memorial to Kriss from last year. And it's actually me that did the voiceover for it. We'll watch it together and then we'll move on from there. I just think this is a really, really important place to start because it shows absolutely nothing has changed. Here we go. The murder of Kriss Donald should be remembered every year, not just as a solemn act of remembrance, but as a call to action, an unwavering commitment to ensuring that such a horrific tragedy never happens again. His story should be a rallying point for our communities, reinforcing the need to protect our children and keep them safe from harm. His murder should have shocked the nation to its core, demanding reflection and change, but instead it has largely been forgotten. So deep is the collective guilt instilled in our society that even when one of our own, a young, innocent Scottish boy, is brutally murdered in an act of racial hatred, the response has been silence rather than acknowledgement. The truth is stark and undeniable. Kriss Donald was targeted and killed simply because of his race. Many choose to look away because facing the truth is uncomfortable, but the reality is, Kriss could have been any one of us. He was an ordinary young Scottish boy in the wrong place at the wrong time. His killers, too, were not an anomaly. We have seen time and again a disturbing pattern of abuse, violence and terror inflicted upon our people by individuals who are welcomed into our communities under the promise of diversity and strength. From the grooming gangs of Glasgow, Yorkshire and Lancashire to the perpetrators of the terror attacks such as those on 7/7, Lee Rigby's killers and the Manchester Arena bomber, we see the pattern and we ignore it. This is why we must remember Kriss Donald. His story must not be allowed to fade into obscurity. We owe it to him, to ourselves, and to future generations to speak his name and ensure his memory serves as a lesson. We must educate those around us, instill vigilance, and demand justice. Because what happened to him should never happen to another child again. Too often, the uncomfortable truths of the racial violence against our own native people are buried. Meanwhile, the nation is persistently reminded of other cases, such as that of Stephen Lawrence. His name elevated, his family granted platforms of influence, and his case enshrined as a symbol of national reflection. Yet no such recognition is afforded to Kriss Donald's family. There is no national conversation about the racism he suffered, There is no communal accountability demanded from the background of his killers. There is no inquiry into the systemic failures that led to his brutal murder. And so, many feel they cannot speak about Kriss. They fear being ostracised, labelled or ignored. But some of us will not forget. For us, his memory will never fade. We refuse to let the fire inside us die. We will not be silenced by fear or buried by apathy. We remember Kriss Donald, not in anger, but in resolve. We remember him because justice and truth demand it. We remember him so that his suffering was not in vain. And we remember him to ensure that the next generation will be protected, aware, and never again left vulnerable for the sake of political convenience. We will not forget. We remember Kriss Donald. So, yeah, it gets me what he went through. He was a 15-year-old lad. He was 4 months away from his 16th birthday. He barely even began to live. And he was taken away because of multicultural dangers that have been forced onto us. I'm sorry, it makes me, I feel it right to my bones. I do. And what has changed since then? Nothing has changed to protect our people. Nothing has changed to keep the young safe. And I'm gonna show you that. I wasn't gonna use this video until later, but now I'm gonna show you this. This is the video from young Lucas with autism, who's been getting bullied for months. And this is in Glasgow. Do you know where Kriss Donald's from? So what has changed? Apart from the SNP corrupting the streets even more. This poor boy, for months this has been going on. For months.
What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Who the fuck do you think you're on to? Shut fuck up, me. Back up to my sister, get out of here. Fuck off. I didn't do nothing, man. Alright, let's go.
Yeah, so this might be a bit of a heated episode, folks. Honestly, once again, a black and a brown attacking a white boy. And he's crying and he's, what did I do? These are just feral monsters. And the paper's saying that, so this was yesterday, this video came out, and then today the news is saying that 2 students have been arrested for this. They're not students, they're feral foreigners. White people, we don't batter disabled folk, do we? No, but these lot do. And then, like I said right at the beginning, you got the John Davidson incident at the BAFTAs. The guy's got Tourette's. They were literally, everybody knew, and they were literally promoting the film that's coming out about his life called I Swear. This is a guy that's been abused his whole life because of his verbal tics that he cannot control. When you put him in a taboo situation, when you put him into a situation, the most taboo thing you can think of, if you get put into a situation where there could be a taboo moment, it's very likely that somebody like John is gonna say things. Do you know, like when he was getting his MBE off the Queen, he shouted the Queen, do you know? But one of the Queen's aides actually put a hand on the shoulder of the person that was supporting John and said, the Queen understands. Do you know? This just shows how different we are as people. Do you know? But Michael B. Jordan, repulsed by BAFTA's racial slur while his parents were left in tears. So you're telling me that this guy's never dropped an N-bomb in any film? This guy's never heard any sort of rap music or any R&B music or anything like that that drops N-bombs on the regular. Oh, and his poor parents. His poor parents. Well, at least we know that his perpetual victim syndrome has been passed down hereditarily. And Don Butler. Oh, the BBC had a 2-hour delay, yet a racial slur was broadcast to millions. We need answers. This isn't about blaming people with Tourette's. It's about editorial accountability, failure of duty of care for all, and how black pain is often minimized. They're not our people. This is not their ancestral homeland. I genuinely could not care. John Davidson has Tourette's. Let's forget for a moment that John Davidson's one of us, that he's a Scottish man. Let's just forget that for a moment. This is a disabled man that his whole life has been trying to raise awareness for his condition, because there's a video of him from 1988 when he's a young loon and he's talking about this. He wanted to commit suicide, and you've got these famous black people that are probably dabbing those tears, those victim tears away with $100 bills, and they're shaming him. They've shamed him into an apology, and you've still got these. You still got a lot of these. The black community are still backing this hate campaign against John, and it's just disgusting. They have no respect for the vulnerable. And I always try and say this. This is what we do. We are supposed to be there, not only for our people, but for the most vulnerable among us. We're supposed to pick them up. But all these people want to do is slam them down. Do you really want to live next to this sort of people? Do you really want to live amongst this sort of people? Because I definitely do not. Where to go? Where do we go? Let's go to Rupert Lowe's statement from the Rape Gang Inquiry. Our inquiry panel has heard extensive and deeply distressing testimony from a survivor detailing prolonged and extreme abuse, exploitation and trafficking beginning in childhood and continuing over a number of years across multiple locations in the United Kingdom. The panel wishes to place on record that we regard this testimony with the utmost seriousness. The survivor has provided detailed, consistent, and specific evidence over an extended period of engagement with our inquiry. She will remain anonymous and she is safe. She has made it abundantly clear that she wants the country to know her story. This is her decision and her decision alone. Elements of her account have been independently corroborated through presented documentation and vast evidence. The panel is also aware of additional material and supporting information that strengthens the credibility of the survivor's account and warrants urgent and comprehensive investigation by the relevant statutory authorities. Given the gravity of the allegations, we have thought long and hard about whether to release the following information. We believe, as she does, that the public deserves to know the truth about the rape gangs. The survivor's violent gang rape and abuse began at the age of 12. She was raped multiple times per day over many years. The rapes were filmed and were used as blackmail. The survivor has stated that multiple police officers were active perpetrators. Money was exchanged openly, and this destroyed her ability and willingness to seek help. Police vehicles were used to traffic her, and some of the abuse events were called cop nights. The extreme pain she suffers included film torture in places called red rooms. The torture included waterboarding and strangulation by rope. Distressingly, she was raped by a dog, filmed and forced to re-watch the footage as the men placed bets. The coordination of this specific type of abuse was predominantly perpetrated by Pakistani heritage men. During this specific period of abuse, she witnessed the murder of at least 3 girls, one of whom was allegedly killed as a punishment for speaking to speaking to the police force. Agencies made a number of referrals to the National Referral Mechanism. She received positive grounds in 2018, but was not made aware of this status until 2021. She finally received conclusive grounds in 2023. The survivor is understandably wary of reporting the matter to the police, so the panel is seeking an urgent meeting with the Home Secretary, including the survivor, to ensure that the government is fully apprised of the seriousness of this evidence and to discuss the immediate steps required to ensure the survivor's protection and preserve evidence and to secure justice. Our overriding priority is the safety of survivors and the pursuit of truth and justice without fear or favour. We believe, along with the survivor herself, that the British people deserve to finally know what has been inflicted on innocent young girls in British towns and cities for many decades. The Rape Gang Inquiry. Rupert Lowe, MP. Do you know, what else can you say? They made her have sex with an animal. Then made her rewatch the footage. Like, it absolutely boils my blood. It boils my blood. And this was predominantly carried out by Pakistani men who were legal immigrants. Do you know? These are the ones, like, everyone goes on about illegal immigration, but this was carried out by predominantly legal immigrants, if not all legal immigrants. And now, after months and months and months of refusing, do you know, you just got to look at all the SNP and Green MSPs that signed the document to say that they didn't want they voted against a Grooming Gang Inquiry in Scotland. And finally, it can't be anything other than pressure because of everything that's come out in England and the fact it's been proven that there's rape gangs in Scotland. Finally, they've conceded. So credit where credit's due. It's just a little bit too late. But a Grooming Gang Inquiry in Scotland is needed for the victims, as much for the victims to get some justice, but also to prevent things like this happening again, because if the wider public realize that this isn't some conspiracy made up, this isn't people lying en masse, this is really happening on our streets. This is what multiculturalism and diversity has given to us. But here's the announcement.
I can confirm to Parliament today of my intention to establish a statutory public inquiry under the Inquiries Act 2005. This public inquiry will consider directly Scotland's response to group-based child sexual abuse and exploitation. I have asked Professor Alexis Jay to lead the inquiry, and I am pleased to confirm that she has agreed to do so.
So yeah, the only thing about this is they've asked Alexis Jay to do this. And when she did the original Grooming Gang Inquiry, it was supposed she completely whitewashed it, which is why it's taken for Rupert Lowe and to work with these victims to get the Rape Gang Inquiry. So I don't really see the truth coming out, shall we say. I don't see the truth coming out when a mouthpiece for the establishment like Alexis Jay is going to whitewash it, you know? And if I'm wrong, I will hold my hands up and say I was wrong. Do you know? I have no qualms in admitting that I was wrong. If you can't admit when you were wrong, and if you're proven wrong, do you know, you're just an enemy to the people. You're kidding yourself as well. But yeah, it's still a step in the right direction. That's all we can say, do you know? But after what I've shown you, after everything that's come out down south, right? Everything that's come out down south, that letter I've just read out from Rupert Lowe there, what did the Greens have to say in response to a Scottish grooming inquiry into the grooming gangs in Scotland being announced. Let's listen. Big guess for how they reacted.
Far-right campaigning on this issue. Some members of the Chamber have used social media to stir up hostility against others on this issue, and that action has consequences. Does the Cabinet Secretary agree that we all have a responsibility to stand up to extremist rhetoric and to treat this issue with the seriousness it deserves, instead of fanning the flames of conspiracy and division?
Cabinet Secretary.
I thank Mr Harvey for his question. To the general sentiment of his question in relation to us all having a responsibility to stand up to extremist rhetoric, yes, I very much agree with that. And I believe that the way in which we conduct ourselves in this chamber sends a strong message to children and young people and the public, who we, of course, are all elected to represent in this place. So I very much agree with the sentiment behind Mr Harvey's question.
He's there with his bloody rainbow lanyard on. Like, it's supposed to be, they're saying about how you conduct yourself in these halls. Why are they pushing this? Why? But it's the Greens. What am I even doing trying to justify their behaviour when they're led by Zach Polanski, who says illegal migrants will be handed free house, wage and healthcare under reckless Green. Well, he didn't say that, but what he said was that the illegal immigrants would be handed free houses, wages and healthcare. Do you know? Under the Greens. What else did the Greens say? They wanted to legalise drugs, they want to legalise heroin, want to legalise crack, want to legalise all these drugs that absolutely destroy families, destroy lives, destroy communities. And they want to legalise them because drug crime stats are racist. Do you know? And they're saying that the police are voting for them because it's going to take pressure off the police. See, if you're a police officer and you're voting for the Greens because they're going to legalise drugs, you're an embarrassment. You should not be a police officer. That could be said for most of the police officers nowadays, though. Do you know? They're all just mutts of the establishment. They do as they're told, and that's going after the native population. On to Aberdeen. Do you know, like, we've got so many hotels and so many HMOs for only having a population of like 220 to 240,000 at a push. Yeah, and so in the past couple of years, we've gone from like maybe one hotel to now we've got about 5, and we've got multiple HMOs. I read somewhere that we've got something like 97 rooms in B&Bs and stuff like that being used, student accommodation, sheltered housing, all this stuff, all these institutions that are meant to be for our people in need, because they're using the homeless accommodation as well for these people. Do you know? Why are they here? They all need to go home. Yes, we need to stop the boats, but we need to get rid of them. Do you know? And closing the hotels, as I always say, is going to be great. But the problem is, if we've not got offshore detention centres, then all that's happening is they're going to get pumped into all these military bases that have been getting run down over the past couple of decades. You know, got like Lookers. I was there until Lookers closed on 6th Squadron, then we moved up to Lossy. But you've got Kinloss as well. They're already using a barracks up in Inverness. If you think that them going into a military base is going to make us any safer, then you yourself are almost lying to yourself, because them going into military accommodation is going to be large numbers of them. That means they're condensing their numbers and they can get organised, and there's nothing more dangerous than that. But Aberdeen, we've got, so this is the news story. Aberdeen records 15,000 crimes last year, with 12-month rise in assaults and sex crimes. Obviously got nothing to do with the foreigners that are getting forced onto our streets en masse. Did you give your permission? I did not give my permission. I was not consulted. If I was consulted, I'd have said, absolutely not. They are not welcome with me. And that's it. All these people that stand with the banners like refugees are welcome here. How many refugees do they actually have staying at their home? Oh, but I don't have room. they don't even live in the same community as these people, do you know? Because most of these people are rich. There's no other way to put it. Most of them are rich, live in these safe communities, whereas us, the average working person, is the one that has to face these dangers, has to deal with these dangers, has to live amongst these people. And I don't know about you, but I'm getting pretty sick of it. But remember, never black pill. There is far too much great happening in the world to black pill. All you got to do is look outside, unless you live right next to like a mosque or a synagogue or one of these hotels, you know. Like, obviously, you can't look outside. But for me, I can look outside and I just see how beautiful Scotland is. I love our people. I love our nation. And when I say I love our people, I love our nation, that's not just me saying that I only love Scotland. No, I love all the people of Britain. This is our wee continent. This is our island. Our island is made up of the English, the Scottish, and the Welsh. No, obviously, Northern Irish people are British as well. But yeah, our island is Scotland, England, and Wales, and I stand shoulder to shoulder with all of them. Because see, this is what one of the first things to get bastardized was, what is British. You know, anyone can be British is what they tell you, but it can't. To be British, you have to be ethnically Scottish, English, Welsh, or Northern Irish, and then by default you're British. So all these retards that go, "Oh, I'm Scottish, I'm not British." Well, you are. If you're Scottish, you're British. Do you know that we live on a little island called the British Isles? Do you know? Like, there's even English people and Welsh people that say, "Oh, I'm English," or "I'm Welsh, I'm not British." You are. By default, you live on the British Isles. And this is what I mean, because it got bastardized into anyone with a bloody turban could be one of us, you know, as long as they integrated, as everyone likes to say. But as you saw in the Kriss Donald video, do you know, Axel Rudicabana, his parents came here. He was born and bred, as so many like to say. And look what he did. Walked into a Taylor Swift themed dance class and killed 3 children and injured and scarred so many more. But just so think about it. Kriss Donald was 2004. We're in 2026 now. What has changed? Has anything got better? No. If anything, we're in more danger now and we're more vulnerable now. Like, poor Lucas, he doesn't have a chance. Who's protecting him? This has been going on for months. And what has the school done? Absolutely nothing. Those 2 foreigners, 2 feral foreign children, got arrested today, and I bet you they get like a slap on the wrist. Them and their entire bloodline should be remigrated. But that's racist. I honestly could not care. That is another racist attack. He has been attacked for being a white disabled kid, just the same as Kriss Donald was in the wrong place at the wrong time and fell victim because there was 5 Pakistanis out looking for a white lad to. You can't think that they went out with any other intention. They abducted him, they drove him all over Scotland, they tortured him, they stabbed him, they set him on fire. And nothing has changed since 2004 to make our people any safer. But it's not just in Scotland, it's not just in England, it's not just in Britain. It's happening in Ireland as well. This video, when I first saw it yesterday, I thought that it was a brand new video. Oh, sorry. I thought this was a brand new video. But it turns out that this incident actually happened just over 3 months ago, and it's taken 3 months for the police to get the video out there to ask for help. See, that was a white boy. You know what I'm saying? So here we go.
He lifts his elbow and hits a woman in the head, knocking her unconscious. Now, he quickly made his way along Oliver Plunkett Street and away from the scene, and the victim was left with a broken orbital bone on her right eye socket.
Wherever they go, it was either in a video or in one of the last few videos, I showed you a story from Italy Wherever there's foreigners, we have foreign issues. You know, and it's never going to get better until we get remigration. Like this was yesterday, 450 to 600 people arriving on boats, just getting ushered in.
All fighting age men.
Getting checked by medics and all sorts. So when you're not being able to get a doctor's appointment, when you're waiting over 12 hours in A&E to be seen, this is why.
All fighting age men. All fighting age men. All fighting age men. All fighting age men. All fighting age men.
And like the guy saying in the video, they're all fighting age men. Where's all the women and children if they're refugees? Surely the women and children aren't being left to fight their wars, because that would be a bit backwards, wouldn't it? Do you know, it would kind of fit the stereotype of them being backwards people. And yet, what is happening? We've still got the SNP, you still got Plaid, you still got Labour, that are still adamant that anyone can be us and that we should accept bajillions of foreigners. When will enough be enough for you? When is it going to take for one of your family to be affected? Is it going to take for your brother, your sister, your daughter, your son, your mum, your dad, your auntie, your uncle? Is it going to take for one of them to be attacked, raped, murdered? What's it going to take to get you on the street, Aberdeen? It's what annoys me. Like, you saw that big march for remigration in Manchester, thousands of people. Aberdeen can't even get 100 people out. Do you know? Because folk are too afraid of their bank balance being affected. I am more terrified, and I prove this every single day. Like, do you know, I am face out. I speak my truth, and I've lost jobs over it. I'm very vocal about it. But at the end of the day, I'm more scared of what happens if nobody is willing to stand up. If we do nothing, that future is scarier to me than me putting my head above the parapet. We used to be such a proud people. We used to be so proud of Scotland. Now we've got an SNP government that's convincing people that because they're able to give free tuition, free university tuition to some Scottish people, and I say some, I'll explain more in a second, that because they're managing to give free university and tuition to some Scottish people, that it's great that we should accept foreigners into our universities. But the universities are actually letting in less Scottish people so that foreigners can come and pay to come to these schools. Do you know? No, but more and more Scottish people are not being able to go to university because their place is being taken by a foreigner. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If an institution like a university needs foreigners to survive, it should be left to burn. Our people have been through enough. But I'm going to end on a high, folks, because it's not all doom and gloom. Because on Monday, the Homeland Party will be releasing our revised remigration policy. We were the first to put out a remigration policy, so it probably was a bit liberal for some people, but we as a nationalist party have to toe a liberal line. Otherwise, because we're on the electoral register, we could go full tilt, but like I'm saying, the management have had to jump through hoops to get us on the electoral register, and that is like the biggest battle. So now, with we've been able to tighten it up, and I'm buzzing to go through it with you because I've not even really seen it. I've just seen the content page, but I'm really excited to see where this goes. see how tough we get. But I'm hoping that more people will start getting involved. We have to, because if we don't, it will be your mother, your dad, your brother, your sister, your son, or your daughter that will be victimized next. That's not me trying to put fear into you. That's me just being honest with you. Look at what's happening every single day, and you cannot deny that our streets, our cities, our towns, our villages, our people are in danger. You know, not just from being replaced, but from the dangers that are being forced onto us by these third world cultures. And I want our people to be safe. I want our people to thrive. But then you walk down Union Street, you walk down King Street, you walk down George Street in Aberdeen, and it's just brown business after brown business, black business after black business, because they get the grants that should go to our people. But our government just wants to empower foreigners. And it's a bit of a joke, if we're being honest, because it's our ancestors that built this beautiful nation that we call home. And it's our current leaders and the leaders for the past few decades that are absolutely obliterating everything that our ancestors fought for. And everything our ancestors fought for was to ensure our people's right to exist in our ancestral homeland. That's all we're asking you to do, is to stand up for our people, stand up for our nation, and stand up for the future generations of our beautiful homeland. Because it's only by us all coming together, by us standing shoulder to shoulder, by us having that moral courage to say enough is enough. No more children should be victimized. No more disabled people should be bullied and shamed the way that they are being at the moment. No kids trans, no more teaching our kids to be Muslims in school. It shouldn't be. We have allowed our society to slip in such a wild way, people, but we can only go up. Things may get worse before they get better, but I promise you they will get better. We will not lose. We will win, because we've got love in our hearts. We don't do this out of hate. We do this because we love our people so much. But this weekend, tomorrow's Friday, Saturday, all the activists and branch organisers from Homeland Scotland will be meeting. I'm buzzing for it. And then on Sunday, we have another protest. We're heading back to the beach. So please, I know that we were planning on going out to West Hill, but just with the numbers of people that don't want to come out and stand for their people, we're going to go back to the beach on Sunday. So if you're about, then why not come and join us? Come and stand shoulder to shoulder with the Patriots of the northeast of Scotland. Everyone is welcome with us. If you're a group that stands for a better future for our people, if you believe that our people are being treated as second-class citizens in our ancestral homeland, then come and stand with us. If your bills are getting tighter while your wages are staying stagnant, then come and join us. Do you know, if you've got children that are vulnerable and are being let down by the system, come and stand with us. We want to hear your story. We want to support you. We want to pick you up. Do you know, we are all in this together. I can't reiterate that enough. But we're just going to have to see what happens over the weekend. We'll have to see what happens with these feral foreigners that attack poor Lucas. And we'll see what happens with Alexis Jay's Grooming Gang Inquiry into Scotland. I really hope she doesn't whitewash it. I learned a lesson from her failing the Grooming Gang Inquiry in England. And I just hope that we get some honesty and we get some truth from it. The victims deserve it more than anything else. Our people deserve to know what foreign dangers have been forced onto our people. But the most important thing is that these victims are heard. They are given a voice and they get some justice. That's all we want. But yeah, so I hope that you all have a good weekend. And like I'm saying, if you're around Aberdeen on Sunday, then come and join us at the beach. Really, we just want what's best for our own. Do you know, we deserve the right to self-determination in our ancestral homeland, and we're not getting that at this very moment. But we will one day. When nationalists take charge, I promise you, life's going to get better. It will get better. So yeah, have a good one, folks. And if you are out protesting anywhere across Britain this weekend, just know I'm proud of you. You're the brave ones. You're the ones with the courage to say no. You're the ones with the courage to stand up and say enough is enough. So thank you.